Hello, this is our retirement savings plan for Josh Hutcherson on December 13th of 2018. My name is Kirsten Hunter.
I'm Tommy Christopoulos.
I'm Melissa Chin.
I'm Samantha Driscoll.
And I'm Cameron Harrell.
Our client, Josh Hutcherson, is a 26-year-old male. He is currently working as a financial analyst with a salary of $75,000 in San Jose, California. He graduated from Cal Poly at the age of 22 with $10,000 outstanding in student loans. His current student loan balance is $2,320 and will be paid out over the year.
In terms of rate assumptions, we've estimated an inflation rate of 3%. That being said, every year we are assuming our client's salary will increase by 3%, matching inflation, in addition to a bonus equal to 10% of our client's salary every 3 years. These lump sum bonuses will help compensate for the fact that we never actually modeled any specific promotions or raises throughout our client's career. We assumed that our client would be putting 10% of their salary into a 401k account provided by their employer, and that the employer would match up to 3% in that account. In addition, our client will follow the federal and California tax brackets each year to calculate his tax obligation. Additionally, his retirement funds will be earning 6% return annually, while his savings will be returning 4%. To go into where those 4 and 6% come from, our savings account investment return of 4% is based on an allocation of about 60% into the risk-free asset and 40% into a fund that tracks the S&P 500 from Charles Schwab, and the 6% from the 401k portfolio and discount rate in retirement. Both come from a principal account 401k portfolio coming from a target date fund, and the discount rate in retirement coming from an S&P 500 track ETF.
Our client laid out financial goals of getting an MBA at 29, getting married at 32. We estimate that the wife at the time of getting married will have a salary of $69,000, which is inflated based on what she would be earning with a graduating from Cal Poly salary, earning the average amount that a Cal Poly graduate would earn. We estimate that our client would like to buy a house at the age of 35. That house at that time will be priced at $885,941 based on the home that we found in San Jose that they could currently afford. We also think that the client will have a child at the age of 35 at the same year that they'll be buying a house. The client would like to pay for their child's college education and retire at the age of 67.
At 26, our client is paying $24,000 per year for an apartment. With his goal of marrying at 32, we assume his rent will increase as they will likely move to a bigger apartment. If he buys a home at 35, his first yearly mortgage payments will add up to about $50,000. The client's current car payment is assumed to be $3,000 a year, and every 6 years he purchases a new car, so his expense will then increase. MBA student loans are only relevant after age 30 and only if the client decides to pursue the MBA. Vacation starts at $4,000 a year, but if the client chooses to pursue an MBA, this expense will drop to $500 during the 2 years he is in graduate school. And the rest of the expenses we found are averages for California residents, and we grow them by 3% with inflation every year. If our client decides to get an MBA, he will likely go to the Haas School of Business at Berkeley because of proximity. Current tuition is $62,000 a year and can be assumed to grow at a rate of 5% a year. With that, our client will need to take a loan of $220,000 to complete his MBA, and we can assume his salary increases to $100,000 a year after graduating, and therefore it is feasible for our client to go to graduate school.
Next, to cover our housing feasibility, at the age of 35, our client has a goal to buy a home, and that home will be in San Jose, and it is currently listed for $679,000. At the time of purchase, that will have inflated to $885,000. The down payment our client will place will be slightly less than 20% without an MBA and just over 5% with an MBA. These are consistent with Fannie Mae's first-time homebuyer programs offered right now, and at a rate of 4.38%. Their mortgage payments will equal $43,000 in the first year, if our client chooses to get an MBA, and if they choose not to get an MBA, will equal about $50,000 a year.
The current cost per year to attend Cal Poly is $27,225. With an education inflation rate of 2.9%, the cost to attend Cal Poly in 28 years will be $60,475. Assuming the client has a child at the age of 35, they will be able to afford their child's entire college education.
We recommend that the client has life insurance for themselves, their partner, and their child. The Gerber Life Insurance Plan allows individuals to buy a small life insurance policy for their child when they're born, and no matter their future health or circumstances, they can increase their life insurance as they get older. We recommend starting the client out with a smaller life insurance policy of $250,000, and once they have a child, increasing the client and their wives' policies to $500,000 each in order to provide for their child if they were to pass. Car insurance is required by law. However, in California, car insurance is significantly more expensive, so we estimate that the cost will be about $841 per year and will grow over time. Disability insurance gives you a payout if you're no longer able to perform job duties and are no longer able to work. In fact, it's estimated that there's a 1 in 3 chance that people that are 20 years old right now will need to make use of this, so it's an important insurance to have. This costs approximately 1% of your annual salary and gives a monthly payment in event of an accident. This will be continuing until retirement at 67, and then the client will no longer require this insurance. Renter's insurance is necessary until the client purchases a home. It covers the client in event of an accident like a fire or theft. And then once the client purchases a home, instead of renter's insurance, they will have homeowner's insurance, which will cover them in event of similar accidents to the renter's insurance. However, it's for homeowners. We assume, based on our assumptions, that medical insurance for the wife and the client will be covered by their employer.
At the time of retirement, we recommend that the client creates a living trust in order to provide an inheritance for the client's child with the ability to manage the trust property. We recommend that the total balance of the client's saving account be placed into this trust at the time of retirement. The combined balance of the client and spouse's 401k accounts at retirement is $3,964,000 without an MBA. These savings, in addition to the predicted Social Security benefits, will allow the client and his spouse to retire comfortably, which leaves them with leftover funds after subtracting their expected expenses. Here we have outlined the various planning models that can be used for the valuation of the living trust and the client's retirement savings without the MBA. The analysis would only be slightly different with the MBA because the total difference in wealth at the age of retirement is only $2,000. Since our client has successfully saved enough for his retirement needs and more, we recommend that the client adhere to the purchasing power preservation model. This model results in a smaller yearly distribution for the client and his spouse in retirement, but it also allows that the trust would retain the client's purchasing power to be inherited by the child. After completing our analysis of the client situation and our financial model, we have some observations and recommendations that we would like to share. In regard to the client's pursuit of the MBA, we believe that this venture is feasible, but would not necessarily be financially advantageous. The difference between the client's total wealth at retirement is minimal, only $2,000 with retirement and savings accounts combined in the two situations of with and without an MBA. Without the MBA, the client would be able to have a full 17% down payment on the house because of the extra salary savings from age 28 and 29. With the MBA, the down payment would be much smaller and the mortgage amount would be much higher. In addition, pursuing the MBA would bring the client several years of financial loss due to the extra cost of the MBA loan expense, especially in the first years of having the child and paying off their house mortgage. Another thing that we would like to bring to the client's attention is how impactful his vacation expense is on his entire financial standing. While we understand the importance of having a budgeted vacation expense, we recommend that the client considers how large this vacation budget is, especially in the early years of his financial future. If the client reduces his vacation budget to $2,000 in the first 10 years, which are before he has a child and before he buys a home, his house savings would be much higher, which would allow for a much higher down payment and in turn create a smaller mortgage payment each year, which would give him a greater financial stability. All in all, this is what we have decided is the best route of action for our client, and we hope that he takes our considerations into thought.